I have been procrastinating on this far too long, and even when I haven't procrastinated, this has basically been a nightmare. I put up a new sheep pen and everything. When I went to AFK, apparently I didn't barricade myself well enough into my house. A creeper blew me up, and that didn't kill me. And a zombie came up, and that killed me. I've tried to repair what could be repaired, but this chest right here, I lost everything in there. And I lost my pants. Once again. But, nevertheless, we've got a lot of wool. And now I need to go get some clay and some terracotta. And then we're going to make ourselves an aspen tree. So let's get to it. After spending like a whole ton of time last week on doing these aspen trees, I really found myself kind of excited about this, but just couldn't get the filming done. You know, I'm excited, though, because now that this week is over, that was a pretty extensive week, and I'm starting to learn how to manage my time a little bit better. And this is going to be a really interesting test, because I don't know how this is going to go, but the way I'm going to record this is going to be a little bit different, and then the way I'm going to edit it is going to be a little bit different. I'm also testing with The Sims. You guys seem to really enjoy that, so thank you everybody who's given it a chance so far, and if you haven't given it a chance, definitely go over there and check it out. It'll be in a card right up in the top left corner. But don't leave yet, because I need you to watch this. Do that after. I've been really actually doing something very interesting recently. Working on my productivity and organization. Trying to find a way to make my stuff in life more cohesive. Work a little bit better. I think the really exciting part is I'm really starting to see some pieces be put together, and I've had a really busy week this week, but that's because a lot of things got done that have been sort of waiting to get done. Really important to me stuff. So it's not just about like, oh, let me get into here and let me throw together a build real quick and send it to you guys. It's personal stuff that has needed to get done that I'm getting done. So let's talk about what I've learned and what you guys can take away from my experience here. The first thing that I really have learned through it is what you put up, you can take away. And don't take too much time worrying about trying to make every piece and part of this perfect. Unlike art, like paint and stuff, you can spend some time to really put in a lot more work, because you can say, you know what, I actually didn't like how this went together, let me change this. And specifically for these aspen trees, I spent quite a long time actually looking at how aspen trees were sort of put together. And then from there, that's when I made some decisions on how I would like to put things together. One of the things that you really want, that I've discovered at least, in a good tree, is you want to be able to look up through the branches and still see the sun. They are going to have gaps, but they all sort of need to be collected together to look good. So when you're making a tree, you kind of have to put in the detail. And I saw Skizzy do this when we went on creative together. He just took a random block, I think it was like yellow terracotta, and he just started blocking in color. And I've talked about that before, where sometimes you just need to get some color in and don't worry too much about all of the minute details and everything. Be more concerned about how the overall build is going to be put together. So as I'm building this, right, I'm going to be diversifying some of the colors and blocks and everything as I go along and as it makes sense. But I'm not going to really worry too much about the way it looks in the moment. Already, we've got, especially from this vantage point, right? Because the further away we go, the more it's just color and we don't get all the little depthy pieces. So right now, we've got a tree, and it actually looks a lot bigger than I had imagined, which is going to look really good in terms of bringing this up towards the top. So I'm actually really happy with it right now. One of the secrets, if you want to call it that I've learned through doing this is when we're building one of these things, we want to keep some of these lower branches a bit bare. Here we have each one of these is, in continuing up the branches a bit, these are going to be bare, and that's going to let some light poke through. One thing that I learned for sure is to use a lot of glass. Glass acts as a very nice block when it comes to making a texture look kind of like it's transparent, like leaves often are, and let some light through without being overtly obvious that, like, hey, this is not a tree. Got to vary up things, which I'm trying to do a good job at here. But don't force things either. Things will naturally happen and progress. So we'll come down here and we'll sort of look at things, okay? This needs another branch coming out here. We can see that. This side looks relatively okay. And we need to fill that hole. Okay. So this gives us a good idea of how things are looking. So I'm liking this bottom half. The top is just not working. So we might need to have a couple more branches. I think one right here and one right here. Do you see how that kind of makes it round itself out? Because aspen trees kind of have this oval almost look to it, or pear look. Actually, I think that's a great way of describing it, is it'll look like a pear. Now from here, interesting. Very interesting. I think adding those two branches are still going to work right here and here. Now, imagine this whole area right here being spotted with some of these aspen trees. I think it'll look really good. So I think we got the right idea. We just need to add a couple more branches. And at this point, this is where you can get frustrated, and where I got frustrated before because I didn't know what to do next. As you're building these types of things, be thinking about not how frustrated you are or whatever. Think about what you're missing. So what's that mean? That means that when you're building something, don't get mad at yourself and say, why can't this look the way I want it to? Ask yourself the question, what am I missing from my skill set? And then those of you that can be patient with yourselves will start to learn to identify those types of things. So at first, you might not know it, but that's why it's a really good idea to go on Reddit or talk to your friends and be like, you know, what's my build missing here? You guys will notice these are starting to connect together, which we want further up the tree. Further up most trees is when branches start really, it's like the Fibonacci sequence. So you get a lot of branches that start to move outward and really fill in. So this one I'm going to actually put right here, and it's going to come out and go off in this direction. So when you have a tree that's sort of branching off like that, it's likely that it'll have another branch coming off in this direction. We're starting to get to a good spot now. Now we've got to fill in this a little bit better, and then we've got some more stuff to fill in up here, and then I think we're going to be looking pretty good. And I'm glad about the time. So one of these trees so far has taken me about a half hour. So if I can continue to get better at it and learn new hacks and techniques and stuff, that's going to really shape how easily I can build one of these forests. Ooh, right here, it looks weird. You see that? It looks like this is sort of hanging when it shouldn't be. So I think we need to put in some sort of connector or hide that area right there. I want to put a little bit right here. That's going to give us a little bit of an excuse to tactfully hide that. Oh my god. The shovel is too strong. Because I really can't with that. Okay, that looks a little bit better. I'm on the fence about this bare piece. You know, maybe a branch fell, and that's what caused it to do that. I think we need a little bit of glass or something in there. All right, let's hold up. Okay, do you guys see what just happened? That changed the whole game. It really did for this side. Before, it was very much blocky, not enough color differential, but that changed it. From this side, this does not... We still got that spiral effect. It looks pretty skinny. Okay, we're starting to get that skinny effect on the other side here. Really, literally all we need is another branch kind of coming out here to make that difference. But I think I'm okay with it. We need more variety. This is like a lot of this really dark yellow. Now, we need some improvement. But if we spend time on each and every aspen tree and try and make it perfect, one, we don't want that because trees aren't perfect. But two, it's going to take even longer. What I'd like to be able to do is get putting up one of these trees down to 20 minutes. We're also going to keep having birch trees out here. And the birch trees are going to be their regular green color. And then I'm thinking about adding large maples as well. So we've got a couple different things. But if you guys want to check more videos out from me on screen, there will be another Minecraft-based thing and another one for craft. Happy mining and crafting!